Hello and welcome to a very interesting product review, because what I have here is the UNI-T thermal camera, and this package is sent to me by Banggood for a review. But this time I could choose exactly the product category and the product type. And why I chose exactly the UTi260B, I will talk about that in a few seconds. So what can you see in this video? Well, first I will talk about the specifications of this thermal camera. Then I will unbox it to see what is inside, and then I will make a little break with the recording because I want to learn more about it before I continue with the review. And in the last part I want to see some applications where can I use this camera, mostly related with 3D printers, because this is also the title. Since I never had a thermal camera before, I hope I can give some ideas where can I use it and what would you like to see with this camera. Let's see the specifications first. This type is UTi260B. Temperature measurement range is between -15 to 550 degrees Celsius. Most important is the thermal imaging pixels. In this case we have 256 by 192, and this is the main reason why I chose exactly this camera, because it may be tricky. I saw some different cameras, it says, oh, I don't know, HD picture or similar, but be careful, because sometimes they mention only the visual picture, but the thermal picture resolution is much smaller, so always search for thermal resolution of this camera. And for this camera I did a lot of investigation. I saw that I get that best price per pixel or something like that for this thermal resolution. It has also the visible light lens, which is 640 by 480 pixels. It can create some pictures of the regular or thermal image, or also they can mix these two. It has PC analysis software, real-time image transmission, an IP65 protection level, and also 2-meter drop test. So this means I could use this, I don't know, outside in rain or something like that. And it has integrated lithium-ion battery, and with fully charged battery it can work approximately 5 hours. And of course all specifications you can find, I don't know, Banggood website. I will place an affiliate link down in the description. And now let's see what's in the box. This is the box, and even the outlook of this box gives the feeling that this is a quality product. Even I can feel this sticker here, or these UNI-T letters. As you can see, this is the type UTi260B. And on this back side we have some other information, and also we have comparison of different UTi thermal cameras. So this row is for my camera, but let's see what's inside. This is on Chinese. This is the user manual. First half is on Chinese and the second half is in English. Okay, I will need this. Memory card, 16GB memory card included in this packaging. Nice. USB-C cable. And this is the camera itself. For the feeling, I can really feel that it has this IP65 and drop test from 2 meters, so it is really gives the feeling that it is strong, so it will not break very easily. Here we have some main specifications, the temperature range and thermal resolution. And the box is empty. Let's insert the SD card. This is the slot for memory card, and this is the USB-C for charging and connection. Let's turn it on. English. it's already working. Okay, I will stop recording now because first I want to learn how to use this camera, and only then I want to continue the review. Okay, I'm playing now with this camera for a while, so let's go through the menu. So this is the power button. With this I can enable the LED lights, but I don't really know when to use it. I mean, it doesn't help to the thermal camera, maybe on the basic camera when it's dark. With the set I can enter into the main menu, and these are the cursors. This is the play button, so I can play the saved pictures, and this is the back button. And of course I have here the main shoot button. So here you can see the main menu, and the first point is the measurement, and with this I can enable the high and low spots, or maybe the center spot, or maybe I can select some region, but I like this version, high-low spot. So basically the default settings are quite good. Let's go back. This is the palette, and again we have different scale here, but again the default is my favorite, so I don't want to change that. Let's go back. Point temperature. So with this menu it's interesting. I can enable some additional points to be measured, but they may only make sense if for example I'm using it on tripod. This is the standard threaded hole for the mounting on the tripod or in some fixed position, and this is where I can see some weakness of this manual, because it just explains you how to do it, but it doesn't explain what can you get with this point. So here we can program 3 points, and if I select it, I can move it to the desired position, and then it will follow the temperature on that position. Next is the image mode. Now this is interesting. So this is a thermal image. I will place my hand here. This is a digital image, and this is the fusion. Actually it has 2 images on one on each other, but the thermal image has a little bit delay, and also you have to set the distance, because they are 2 separate cameras, so you have to set the distance for your recording. So I'm too close now, and they're not completely on each other. Let's try some bigger distance maybe. This is picture in picture. Now you can see it, so it plays the thermal image on a real picture, but again my hand is too close. Let's try to find something in bigger distance. And with this alignment you can set the distance. The default is 1 meter. And now the settings. So I'm not going through all settings here, but I really like that. Of course you can set the temperature units. High and low alert, they are disabled now, but you can use this camera, for example, to monitor on a workplace or something like that. So to place an alarm on, I don't know, if you detect the temperature above 37 degrees Celsius. So now in this pandemic situation, this may be a useful tool for something like this. Temperature scales, okay. USB mode, by default it can be used as a camera, but also if I want to place the pictures from the SD card, I can change it as a USB disk. Measurements, and again in manual I can only find the information, so how can I change these settings, but what they mean I don't really get information. For example, I'm very curious, this distance, is this the focus distance or the measuring distance? Emissivity, here we have some table for different emissivity for different materials. I'm not sure what it means. Will I get more accurate readings on these materials? Well, maybe this is professional thermal imagers, so not for amateurs like me, and probably they will know what these settings means. Now, what I'm really missing with this camera is recording a video. I didn't know that before. So if I want to take a picture, let me change the thermal picture. If I want to take a picture, I will press this button here. And now it asks for confirmation. I don't know why, so I have to press it again. And now the image is recorded. So I don't know, I think that's a useless step, because if I press this, I want that image to be saved. As a YouTuber, it is very important for me that I can record a video, not only a picture. By the way, with this button I can check the saved pictures. These are images I saved so far. Well, this is me, so you can see the beard has nice thermal insulation. This is the last picture I recorded a few seconds ago. And here we can see more information about this picture. Maximum, minimum, units, recording time. And again, if I want to delete it, I go here. And again, confirmation. So too many steps, but maybe that's okay to prevent accidents. And again, back to Imager. So, to record the video, I have two solutions. One is to use the software and record the video on my PC. And the second solution I will use more often, to use this some kind of, I think it's called magic arm. I will mount it here, and since the resolution of this screen is bigger than the resolution of the image, if I record it directly, I will not have any loss of the data. And now I have a mobile recording system. Maybe I can turn the screen 90 degrees, and then I have less useless area. Yes, in this direction I'm using better the area of the recording. On product website I found the live screen software, and after downloading and unpacking the RAR file, I can install the application. Next step is to turn on the camera and plug in the USB-C cable to the computer. If not recognized automatically, then I have to select the connect. And this is the picture from my camera sent into my laptop. This is very simple application. I can only record the image, and unfortunately I cannot record the video directly inside the application. If I need a video, then I have to use some kind of screensaver program, as I usually do for recording my activity on the screen. And this is the recorded image. So for recording the video, probably I will stay with my mobile version I presented a few minutes ago. And now let's see some samples. This is my 5-year-old laptop, and when I started with video editing on it, I always had a problem it blocks after 10-15 minutes. And when I figure out what's the problem, I'm using fans from the bottom and the top side, but now for the first time I can see those hotspots. This is also interesting one. So this is the mouse, and usually my hand is here on this part of the desk. And even after 4 or 5 minutes later, I can still see these marks where the heat was produced by my hand. So this is the mouse here, and this is the desk. For example, I can use this to check if my teenage daughters use their laptops in the last 5 or 10 minutes, for example, because I don't know, they should be sleeping or something like that. Impressive. Just one experiment. Oh wow. I will set alert to 37 degrees Celsius, and I will test it now with the humans with me. But on second time I will have hot water with me to simulate high temperature at 37 degrees Celsius. What kind of alarm is that if there is no noise? It's a pity, because I have a few ideas where could I use it if it has alarm. For example, monitoring a sick child and in the night, and it can give us alarm if I don't know, its temperature goes over, I don't know, 38 degrees Celsius or something like that. This is my charger for lithium-ion batteries. And I notice if I'm using those reused batteries from old laptop battery, they can heat up to 50-55 degrees Celsius. That can be very dangerous. It's a pity that this alarm don't have a noise, because I could set it to monitor the charging of the battery, and if it reach 60 degrees Celsius, then it can give me some alarm. But since it doesn't have the sound alarm, only lights and on the screen, in that case I'm not sure that I will notice it. This is something I try to explain to my wife. If we have a hole 1 by 2 meters, for example, for a refrigerator, in that case it doesn't have to be the same size refrigerator. It has to be, I don't know, at least 5 centimeters smaller, because the heat has to go out somehow. This is the parking place in front of my building, and I can clearly see from these 3 cars, this one in the middle arrived maybe 20 minutes ago or 25. This is artillery signwinder, and 2 things I want to check here with thermal camera. I want to visually see those 4 mysterious cold spots on the printing surface, and also I want to check, is there any heating of these ribbon cables. I thought that these ribbon cables are used only to transmit the data, but here they also provide the current for the hot end, for example. Of course, I find out in the meantime that it's using more than 1 wire for this, but let's see if there is some extra heating on these wires if I heat up the nozzle. Wow, after only 10 seconds I can see interesting cold spots in 4 corners, but also in the middle too. Probably it's not visible on camera, but the nozzle is on 180 degrees Celsius and the bed is approximately on 60. And incredible. I thought I know about these 4 spots in the corners, and if you check my video for artillery signwinder X1, I had a lot of problems when I tried to print something in the center of this printing surface. And now I can see the possible reason. And no additional heat on ribbon cables, that's a good sign. There is a silicone sock on the nozzle, so I can't really see good nozzle from this angle. And now approximately after maybe 3 or 4 minutes, well, the temperature is still not spread perfectly, and interesting. But it looks like the measuring is correct, because it shows 61 degrees Celsius, and that's exactly the set temperature here. Let's see the heating of my Prusa Mark III's. Very evenly heating. And now only after 1 minute I can see that almost every spot on this bed has almost 60 degrees Celsius. But I turned it on maybe 1 minute ago. The printing is finished a few seconds ago, and let's see if I can measure the temperature of the nozzle. 172. And according to the display it is 182, so it's close. It's not perfect, but yes, maybe I should clean the brass nozzle, or maybe set the emission. This is the power supply, and again the main board. Stepper motor for x-axis, for z-axis, the other z-axis. This gets more heat because there is the power supply, and this is the direct drive stepper motor. This one is always the hottest, I noticed. In this last example, I will watch the Arduino Uno. Unfortunately, I cannot see the main board because it is inside. It would be good to follow, for example, the stepper motor drivers on the main board. But I will now watch this Arduino Uno running, blinking now for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. and here we can see those hot spots on it. Even you can see here the resistor and the LED also make some heat. Now, unfortunately, these two images, the regular image and the thermal image, don't have the same field of view. Because even if I record an image now, it records two images, one thermal, one regular, but they don't have equal field of view, so I cannot place them on one on each other. And even this fusion picture, well, I don't know, it's not too helpful. Maybe. Decide yourself. But I think this thermal image is more useful. And now the conclusions. I will mention three things which I didn't like with this camera. The first one is that fusion image which puts together the information from the thermal and the visual camera. It's not perfectly aligned, and we can set the distance, but it will never be perfect completely. And even if I press this button, it records two images. One is from thermal and the other is from regular camera. And those images has different field of view, so I cannot easily place them on one of each other to get to find some hotspots on the regular image. The second thing I didn't like is that it cannot record the video directly inside the camera on the SD card. I don't know why, because the resolution of this image is not big, and I wouldn't mind if it would have only 10 frames per second, but unfortunately it doesn't have any recording of the video. Maybe this can be fixed with some firmware update. We will see. Until that, you saw my solutions how can I record the video from this thermal camera. And the third thing I didn't like, and this cannot be fixed with the firmware update, and that's I'm missing some kind of beeper for the sound alarm. It is very nice that we have high and low alert in this camera. We can set some limit on the higher or lower temperature, and if this any spot reach that limit, it can give us some alert. But the alert is only blinking of the LEDs on the front and some triangle warning on the screen. But I think that's enough. I mean, I could imagine so many applications where I could use this camera to monitor something in overnight printing or anything, to watch some spot, and it reach some set temperature, give us a sound alarm. So I'm really missing that option here in this camera. And now what I like on this camera, well, actually everything else. It has very nice building, nice grip. This is decent thermal resolution. And in this, it's not really cheap tool, but in this price range, this is one of the best camera I could find. And if you can afford this tool for yourself, you can use it not only with 3D printing, but for example, I just walking through the flat now, and every minute I have a new idea where can I use this thermal camera. And even on my workplace, in the laboratories on university where I work, I have so many ideas where can I use this camera. I'm really missing that sound alarm I mentioned a few minutes ago. But anyway, doing this test now with these 3D printers, I became very curious. So one of my future videos, I want to compare all my 10 different 3D printers, their bed surface, to see what is the difference between, you saw now the two printers, Prusa and Artillery Signbinder X1. Huge difference in those printing surface. So I want to see on Ender 3, Ender 5 and all those printers I have, how those printing surfaces looks like. This is my first thermal camera, so if you have some new ideas where can I use it with 3D printing, please leave me some ideas in the comments. I hope I could give you some interesting information. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will follow me to those new videos too. Bye.